Please join us, lend your ear. Let's get this thing straight about America. This is February 2024, Black History Month. This is the month that all you white folks are supposed to feel guilty about your race, guilty about your history, and all black folks are supposed to be angry at white people because of what was done to us in the past. I have a different approach to it. This is when I thank people who fought to free black folks, thank people who risked their lives and their careers and their money and their health and their family to fought to free black people. I identify those who fought against black people and those who fought for black people, and I honor those who sacrificed for strangers. You see, never in the history of mankind had you had a civil war where brothers fought brothers just to free strangers. Think about it. What would it take to get you to take up arms and go to your brother's home and fight him and kill him or be killed by him just to free strangers? That's a moral issue. Usually, civil wars are fought with families over territory, land, heritage, riches, but the Civil War in America was fought to free strangers strictly on a moral reason. 360,000 white Republicans fought their Democrat brothers over strangers. They went into battle singing, "My eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. His truth is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah, glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on." That motivated these men to go into the bloodiest battle in American history, the bloodiest war in American history, to free people they didn't even know. And the Republican Party presented America with a choice: be moral or unmoral. It was not a civil war, folks. You have never seen a civil war like this in history. That was a crusade. The Underground Railroad was founded to maintain that slave exodus by the Western Church and the Quaker Church, Christians. You had anti-slave activists like Minister Harry Beecher Stowe and Reverend John Brown. Slaves singing those old Negro spirituals in the field, calling on the name of the Lord, created an environment where God could act because he always acts on the prayers of men, righteous men. He always does that, folks. So then you have in 1850, the Democrat controlled Congress passed the Fugitive Slave Act, led by Democrat Speaker Howard Cobb, a Democrat state Senate, he was Senate President William King, and was signed into law by Democrat President Millard Fillmore. The 1850 Civil Rights activity of the Fugitive Slave Act allowed the slave master to cross state lines to pursue and capture his runaway slave, even to take jurisdiction, cops from a slave state into a free state to assist him in capturing his property in a free anti-slave state. So Joshua Glover, a runaway slave, tried to reach Canada. He escaped. He's working in a city called Racine, Wisconsin. In 1854, under the Fugitive Slave Act, his owner from St. Louis, Missouri, my hometown, captured him with the help of St. Louis police. Understand, folks? St. Louis police left St. Louis, their jurisdiction, and crossed state lines into Wisconsin, found him at his place, and broke into the door, beat him up, and dragged him to the local jail to proceed with bringing him back to Missouri slavery. But something happened. Something happened. See, his owner didn't count on one thing. Those anti-slave folks that lived in that community, those anti-slave white people who saw what happened, who saw him being kidnapped and beaten and thrown in jail. Now, the jailer even fixed up his wounds, but these anti slave white people literally broke through the walls of the jail. The men tore down the walls to free this man and brought him out and put him in a wagon and led him down the street. And thousands, the paper said 5,000 people lined the streets and hang out of windows, waving their flags, waving their white sheets, said, "This is righteous," and took him away and fixed his wounds. These anti slave people on the moral issues and Christian faith got him to Canada. But 2 days after they broke him out, these anti slave citizens, tired of what the Democrat controlled government was doing, had a meeting. I want to show you something, folks. I want to share something with you. They had a meeting in Racine, Wisconsin, at a local school. The agenda was one agenda: to form an anti slave party. And they called their party the Republican Party. And that's how the Republican Party got started. On a moral issue, anti slavery party. And when they ran Abraham Lincoln as their first presidential candidate, they had 9 planks in their platform. 6 of those planks said, if you vote for us, we're going to end slavery. If you vote for us, we will no longer compromise. You see right now in Congress, they keep calling Republicans to compromise and find common ground. They say if you give us control of this government, we're going to end this mess. We're going to stop this mess. And the population of America, in spite of Democrats saying, well, it's a split country, we got to find common ground and compromise. It's half and half. Instead of that, the first time they had a chance to vote, America gave the Republican Party a new party. The majority of state houses, the majority of state Senate, majority in the U.S. Congress, in the U.S. Senate, and the presidency. And Democrats knew as soon as Congress was seated, as soon as Congress came into order, as soon as the gavel went down, the first thing we're going to do was abolish slavery in the United States. Knowing that, the Democrats had to leave the Union because they knew their lifestyle was over. I don't understand how white folks in the South, how white men in the South, poor white men who could not get a job because slaves did the work for free, I don't understand how they fought for the Confederacy. How would you fight for the Democrats knowing they were the reason you could not feed your own kids? The term redneck came from a poor white man who had to pick his own cotton. The sunburn, the red neck, and the red back showed him in town who he was. I don't know how you white folks in the South supported a system that kept you unemployed. But regardless, the Union came and they marched away, Republican Party marched away into slavery and brought about the biggest battle in American history. So, folks, I think that Black Americans own this gift by Black Republicans, by white Republicans, and declare our national thank you on Black History Month to the Republican Party that was founded on a